with like the personalization and the specificity, I receive anywhere from 300 to 500 emails a day of pitches between In the Know, between Yahoo and AOL, between people who want to be on my podcast, between people who want to get highlighted on the Blonde Misfit, not to mention people who still pitch me because they saw my byline on one random story on one outlet that I wrote for 2 years ago. And I still like to keep those in the vault because I never know when I'm going to want to return to freelancing. Um, I am very honest when I say I give an email 10 seconds at most because I don't have any other time I don't have more time. So really that first 10 seconds is vital. Get to the point, introduce what you have to do, like what you have, be specific. And then also like the so what factor is the thing that I often find is missing in a pitch. Just to be very honest and frank, if I read it and your email or your pitch feels like 50 others in my inbox, I'm probably not going to spend a lot of time trying to figure out, well, what makes this product or this brand or this person unique compared to everybody else. You have to sell yourself. Like Shonda said, it's a selling game. You have to be your best salesman. And I always think to myself, if I was in an elevator with Diddy, or if I was in an elevator with Beyonce or something like that, and I only had 30 seconds to pitch to them why I'm the dopest at what I do, what would I say? You have to think about it from that perspective and then put it in writing. Figure out what is it that I can do and sell that makes me different than everybody else who's hitting me up. Because at the end of the day, you are competing for a slot. I saw it also in here in a question, the best day or time to email journalists. Depending on the journalist and how you pitch, we do editorial calendars at the start of the week. So pitching me on a Monday is not going to get seen probably until closer to the end of the week, if not maybe even the end of the month. If it's something that has a longer lead time, you can specify that it's not timely, but usually towards the end of the week, Wednesday, Thursday, I don't really like Friday pitches that much because everybody is mentally checked out. Like those are great times. And then also be a fan of the follow-up. Don't harass us, but be a fan of the follow-up, especially if there has been some form of engagement that has specified that we might be interested in the story. Because again, we're getting so many. The perfect pitch to me is informative, it's unique, it stands out from everybody else, but also like there's a human element to it. And I know like, especially with the transition of the pandemic and the quarantine, there are a lot of things that we don't have anymore that we used to have in place, like being able to go to PR brunches and breakfast and sit down with founders and all that stuff. So really, this is your shot. And this is the time for you to really show us what you're made of. And hopefully it resonates with us enough that we want to do the follow-up. But don't leave anything out on the table. If you and especially for small businesses, being a small business owner myself, send your pitch to a friend or send your pitch to a family member, someone who doesn't know a lot. Like let's say, for instance, you're trying to launch a product. Send it to somebody in your family who doesn't know 100% exactly what you do. And if they can answer all of the questions of the who, what, where, why, how is this unique? How is this different than anything else that's out on the market? Then you're solid. If people are kind of confused and then they got to hit you up like, so sis, when you said this, did you mean that means you need to go to back to the drawing board because there's not enough clarity. So really clarity is important, and to really anticipate the needs of your editor. Also, like Shonda said, please spell our names correctly. There is enough. I know all of the women on this call, you can Google us. No flex, you can Google us. And our names come up on LinkedIn, Instagram, Twitter, all the good stuff. We're constantly sharing our names, how to say our names, how to spell it. Just look it up. Because there's nothing worse than like has been said, like getting a mass email, or worse, getting a pitch and like it's not even your name. I'm like, what? So those be the worst. Like that's triggering. I'm like, okay, you know what? All right.
Okay. Perfect.